pipelines, the refineries, the export terminals can take months, potentially, he said, over a year just to repair. So this is pretty bad, and it's way worse than what we saw in 1979. How much worse? Well, let's take a look. Let's compare what happened in the oil shock of the 1970s, two of them, to today. In the 1979 shock, supply lost 5 million barrels a day, which back then was about 7% of the world's production, a net loss of about 4% after OPEC offsets. The oil price back then, though, was only $13, and it went to $34 a barrel, which was about a 2.5 times increase in just 12 months. And that pushed inflation up. U.S. inflation hit 13%. So when energy prices go up, everything goes up. U.S. inflation hit 13%, and unemployment was soaring. It was at 6.1%. So, and that was also just Iran's production. Saudi, Iraq, Kuwait, UAE, exports, they all continue normally, right? But now today in 2026, supply lost is 11 million barrels a day. The IEA chief said that this is more than both of the 1970 shocks combined. And then the price, well, forget those old prices. Brent peaked at $126 a barrel, up from $70 pre-conflict. We see the traffic in the Strait, the Hormuz traffic's down 95%. I mean, big drop. Of course, that can come back with peace, right? But this is not just about oil, too. We have fertilizer down 44%, sulfur's down 31%, urea's down 20%. I mean, we're talking a big supply chain hit. We have physical damage across 6 countries: Qatar, Iran, Saudi, Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, all of them hit. So again, this is a pretty big deal, and I don't think most people are prepared for this. I mean, I'm an optimist. I'm hopeful. I think this is going to end pretty quickly here. I pray that it's going to end pretty quickly, but I'm also a realist, and I want to understand what this means for us, right? Because the scale of the shock isn't what makes this worse. It's the financial structure that we have underneath it all today. That's the difference. We're talking about a completely different structural problem, different structural mechanics than we had the last time. This is why the same shock produces a completely different outcome. You see, in 1979, the U.S. net international investment position was positive 3.5% of GDP, right? America was a creditor nation back then. But today, in 2026, U.S. NIIP is down negative 85% of GDP. We're the largest debtor nation in history. We have a global dollar denominated debt is now $350 trillion. And this didn't exist anywhere at this scale in 1979. In 1979, when the dollar strengthened, capital flowed into U.S. treasuries. The system could absorb it back then. But in 2026, when the dollar strengthens, it crushes every foreign borrower, the $350 trillion. It crushes all those foreign borrowers all across the planet. They're forced to sell U.S. assets just to survive, which means capital starts to flow out. That is what we're calling the vortex. Okay, so to understand the vortex,